My boyfriend went viral on TikTok, calling me hideous. Millions watched him mock my face for views. I was sitting in my car, waiting for him to meet me for lunch. Instead of crying, I left. 6 months later, he called me back, and didn't even know the color of my eyes. I stared at my phone screen, thumb frozen mid-scroll. The video had 2.3 million views already. Derek's face filled the frame, that crooked smile I used to find charming now twisted into something cruel. "So guys, I need your help," he said to his followers. "I've been dating this girl for 3 years, right? And I'm just realizing she's actually hideous. Like, I don't know what I was thinking." The comments were already flooding in, laughing emojis, fire symbols. "Dump her, bro. You can do better." I sat in my car outside the coffee shop where we were supposed to meet for lunch. My hands shook as I watched him describe my weird nose and dead fish eyes to millions of strangers. 3 years of "you're beautiful" and "I love you" reduced to content for his growing TikTok empire. The worst part? The calculated way he spoke. This wasn't some drunken rant or moment of anger. He'd planned this, scripted it, probably filmed it multiple times to get the perfect take. My phone buzzed with a text from him. "Running late, babe. Order for me." I screenshotted the message, then the video. Then I put the car in drive and left. He could order his own damn lunch. I drove straight to my apartment, grabbed my overnight bag, and started throwing clothes inside. My hands moved automatically while my brain tried to process what just happened. 3 years. 3 years of my life with someone who thought I was hideous. My phone rang. Derek's name flashed on the screen. I declined the call. It rang again, and again. I turned it off completely, tossed it in the bag, and grabbed my car keys from the hook by the door. The keys felt heavier than usual, like they carried the weight of this decision. I was really doing this. Really leaving without a word, without a fight, without giving him the chance to explain or manipulate his way out of it. The drive to my sister Maya's house took 20 minutes. 20 minutes of silence where I replayed every moment of our relationship, searching for signs I'd missed. Had he always felt this way? Was I really that blind, or was he just that good at lying? Maya opened her door before I even knocked. "I saw the video," she said, pulling me into a hug. "Jess sent it to me. I'm so sorry, Elle." I broke down then. Not the pretty kind of crying you see in movies, but the ugly, body-shaking kind that comes from having your world collapse in 4 minutes and 37 seconds. "I loved him," I sobbed into her shoulder. "I actually loved him." "I know," she whispered, "but now you're free." Maya's guest bathroom mirror showed me everything Derek had described in his video. The nose that was too big, the eyes he called dead fish, the face he'd called hideous to millions of people. I touched my reflection, seeing myself through his words for the first time. But then Maya appeared behind me in the doorway. "Stop," she said firmly. "Whatever you're thinking right now, stop." "He's not wrong though, is he?" I turned away from my reflection. "I mean, look at me." "I am looking at you. I see my brilliant sister who just finished her marketing certification. I see someone who makes the best chocolate chip cookies in the world. I see a woman who stayed loyal to a piece of garbage for 3 years when she deserved so much better." She sat on the edge of the bathtub. "Elle, he's been tearing you down for months. Remember when he said your laugh was too loud? When he criticized your clothes? Your friends? That wasn't love. That was control." The pieces started clicking together. The subtle comments about my appearance, the way he'd roll his eyes when I got excited about work, how he'd make jokes about my weird interests in front of his friends. "I thought he was just honest," I said. "Honest people don't humiliate the person they claim to love on social media," Maya said. "They definitely don't do it for views and followers." My phone buzzed from the nightstand where I'd finally turned it back on. 17 missed calls from Derek, 43 text messages. I didn't read a single one. Jess arrived the next morning with coffee and information I wasn't sure I wanted to hear. "I did some digging," she said, settling onto Maya's couch. "You know how I follow some of those TikTok drama accounts?" I nodded, dreading what came next. "There's this girl, Vanessa. She's been commenting on all his videos for weeks, flirty stuff, and she posted a story yesterday." Jess pulled out her phone, scrolled through screenshots. "She's at the same restaurant where you two had your anniversary dinner last month." The coffee turned bitter in my mouth. "Show me." The photo showed a blonde girl in a tight dress, raising a champagne glass. The caption read, "Celebrating new beginnings with my man. Tagged location, Romano's. Our place. The restaurant where Derek had told me he loved me for the first time." "There's more," Jess said gently. "I found her Instagram. They've been talking for at least 6 weeks. Maybe longer." 6 weeks. He'd been planning his exit strategy for 6 weeks, building up his social media following, finding a replacement, and setting up his dramatic breakup content. I wasn't his girlfriend anymore. I was just another prop in his influencer performance. My phone buzzed again. Another text from him. This time I read it. "Babe, where are you? We need to talk. I can explain everything." I typed back, "Saw Vanessa's story. Saw everything. We're done." Then I blocked his number. For the first time in 3 years, the silence felt like freedom. He found me at the coffee shop near my office a week later. I should have expected it. Derek never accepted defeat easily, especially not when it made him look bad. "Eliana." He slid into the seat across from me, that familiar cologne hitting me like a memory I wanted to forget. "We need to talk." I kept my hands wrapped around my coffee cup, anchoring myself. "No, we don't. Look, I know you're upset about the video, but you're taking it way too seriously. It was just content. You know how TikTok is." The audacity was breathtaking. "Content? You called me hideous to 3 million people." "I was exaggerating for views. Come on, you know I think you're beautiful." He leaned forward, turning on the charm that used to work so well. "And the Vanessa thing? She's just a friend. You're being paranoid." I studied his face. The same face I'd kissed goodbye every morning for 3 years. The same mouth that had whispered sweet lies while planning my humiliation. "I'm not paranoid," I said calmly. "I'm done." "You can't be serious. We've been together for 3 years, Elle. You're going to throw that away over some stupid video?" "I'm throwing it away because you threw me away first. You just wanted to make money off it." He sat back, mask slipping. "You're being dramatic. This is why Why you what? Made that video? Found someone else? Treated me like garbage for months?" I stood up, leaving money on the table. "Thanks for helping me see who you really are." "Eliana, wait." But I was already walking away, this time for good. The mirror in my new apartment reflected someone different. Same face, same features that Derek had criticized, but the woman looking back at me had something she'd lost somewhere along the way. Confidence. I'd signed the lease that morning. 1 bedroom, hardwood floors, a kitchen window that caught the afternoon sun. It was mine. Completely, entirely mine. Maya helped me hang pictures on the walls. "You look happy," she said, stepping back to admire our work. "I feel happy. Weird, right?" I straightened a frame holding my marketing certification. 3 weeks ago, I thought my life was over. 3 weeks ago, you thought your life was Derek. Turns out you had a whole life waiting for you. My phone buzzed. A text from my new boss at the marketing firm. "Great work on the Morrison campaign. Want to discuss a promotion over lunch tomorrow?" 6 months ago, Derek had told me I was too ambitious, and that my career focus was unsexy. Now I was thriving in ways I'd forgotten were possible. I looked at my reflection again, seeing what Maya and Jess had always seen. Not the flaws Derek had highlighted, but the strength that had carried me through his betrayal and out the other side. "I'm proud of you," Maya said, hugging me from behind. "You chose yourself." For the first time in 3 years, That choice felt easy. 6 months later, I held the keys to my promotion office, watching the morning light stream through windows that overlooked the city. Senior Marketing Manager. The title felt as solid as the weight of success in my hands. My phone buzzed with a notification. Someone had tagged me in a TikTok video. My stomach clenched automatically, old habits dying hard. But it wasn't Derek. It was Jess, posting about her small business launch. Couldn't have done this without my amazing marketing consultant, Eliana Rose, she'd written. The comments were full of fire emojis and congratulations, people celebrating success instead of tearing it down. What a concept. I scrolled through my own social media, seeing a life I'd built brick by brick after everything fell apart. Photos from the hiking trip with Maya, the marketing conference where I'd networked like a boss, the cooking class where I'd finally perfected those chocolate chip cookies. Not a single photo included Derek. I'd deleted them all months ago, but more importantly, I'd stopped leaving space for him in my future. My assistant knocked on the office door. "Your 10 a.m. is here." I slipped the keys into my desk drawer and smoothed my blazer. The woman in the glass reflection looked nothing like the broken girl who'd sat in that coffee shop 6 months ago. She looked like someone who knew her worth. Someone who would never again accept being called hideous by a man who couldn't see her beauty. Someone who had learned the most important lesson of all: the only opinion of yourself that matters is your own. The elevator chimed softly as it reached the ground floor. I stepped out into the marble lobby, my heels clicking with newfound confidence against the polished stone. The security guard nodded respectfully, the same man who'd barely acknowledged me when I'd started here as a timid assistant. "Have a good evening, Ms. Chen," he said warmly. "You too, Marcus." I'd made it a point to learn everyone's name. It was amazing how much respect you earned simply by treating others with dignity, something Derek had never understood. Outside, the city buzzed with evening energy. Street vendors called out their wares, couples strolled hand in hand, and somewhere in the distance, a saxophone played a melancholy tune. I paused on the sidewalk, breathing in the crisp autumn air, when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. My finger hovered over the decline button, but something made me answer. "Hello? Sarah? It's Derek." My stomach lurched, but not with the old familiar panic. Instead, I felt a strange sense of calm wash over me. "How did you get this number?" I called your old office. Listen, I know I messed up. I've been thinking about you, about us. I was going through a rough patch back then, you know? Work stress, family stuff. I said things I didn't mean. I found myself walking toward the small park across the street, my feet carrying me to a bench beneath a street lamp. The same park where I'd eaten lunch alone for weeks after our breakup, crying into my sandwich. "You called me hideous, Derek. You said I was lucky you even looked at me." Silence stretched between us. A jogger passed by, earbuds in, lost in her own world. I envied her simplicity. "I was angry," he said finally. "You know how I get when I'm angry. But I've changed, Sarah. I'm in therapy now. My therapist says I have abandonment issues from my childhood, and that's why I lash out. We could try again. Start fresh." 6 months ago, those words would have been everything I wanted to hear. The validation, the explanation, the promise of change. I would have rushed back to him, grateful that someone, anyone, wanted me. Now, I found myself almost laughing. "Derek, I need to ask you something, and I want you to be honest. What color are my eyes?" "What? That's random. Why does that matter?" "Just answer the question." Another pause. "Blue? Green? Sarah, what does this have to do with anything?" "Brown." My eyes were brown, and had been for the entire 3 years we'd dated. He'd looked at me countless times, claimed to love me, yet he'd never really seen me at all. "It doesn't matter anymore," I said softly. "I hope therapy helps you, Derek. I really do. But I won't be part of your healing journey." Sarah, wait. I ended the call and slipped the phone back into my purse. Above me, the first stars were beginning to appear in the darkening sky. I tilted my head back and smiled, feeling lighter than I had in years. Tomorrow, I had a presentation to give, a promotion to earn, a life to live. And for the first time in forever, I was excited about all of it.